hit that subscribe button, guys. It'll definitely get made. It's just a matter of time. With the magnitude of this fight, it takes time. I think a lot of negotiations and different things are going on. That's part of the build-up to it. When the fight happens, it's going to be an epic one. At the end of that fight, there will be one champion, one face, one name, and his name is Deontay Wilder. I like that confidence from Deontay Wilder. He says the fight's definitely going to happen, and that time, when it comes to these big fights, building the fight up, it takes time in the negotiation room, and that's understandable. I'm not, as a boxing fan, I'm complaining about that because I just want to see the fight happen next week. But as when it comes to boxing, it's all about business, as everyone loves to say, business this, business that, A side this, A side that. It takes time to build up a fight. My whole thing is, I don't like it when fighters try to build up a fight for 5 years. If you're gonna build up a fight, okay, do it for 6 months. Have a guy fight a similar opponent. Have a guy fight a similar opponent of his opponent and see how he fares with that guy. In 6 months, tweet shit. Every time in the post-fight interviews, talk shit about that your opponent. The guy that everyone wants you to fight. Go to the opponent's fight and be in the ring, and then when the fight's over, get in the ring and confront him face to face. Do that. That should take maybe 6 to 10 months, but don't do a thing where don't go overboard with it. Don't do a Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather should have happened anywhere between 2009 and 2011, but they waited till like 2015 for 6 years. Can you imagine waiting 6 years for a fucking boxing fight? For 6 years, I remember being a teenager, all you saw were in the from 2009 to the time they fought 2015, it was always back and forth. You had, Deontay Wilder Floyd Mayweather Jr. going around saying shit about, Manny Pacquiao and why the fight isn't happening, and it's all because of Pac-Man, his team. And then you had Pac-Man and, his trainer, Freddie Roach, and their team going around saying, no, it's actually Mayweather who's afraid. And they kept doing this, prolonging it. And in the meantime, they were going around fighting other dudes, and in the meantime, both of their fanboys were just attacking each other. It was really lame and pathetic. All you saw was Floyd Mayweather Jr. nut huggers going around, defending Mayweather's honor, going around leaving comments, saying how Mayweather would school Pacquiao, how Pacquiao's a coward, and you even had some boxing channels doing the same thing and making fun of, Pacquiao. Then you had Pacquiao fanboys going around leaving comments making fun of Mayweather fans and saying that Pacquiao will destroy Mayweather and that Mayweather's a chicken and he's afraid and he's a fraud. And then you had some Pac-Man, obsessive channels going around just praising Pac-Man, acting like he was the greatest of all time. And it was just all this rubbish and bullshit, and it was really lame, and it got boring to me. Like at first I thought it was funny, but then it got boring to me because it was just the same old thing. And you know what happened? Before you knew it, Mayweather was 38 years old and Manny Pacquiao was like 37 years old when they fought. They could have fought when Mayweather was like 32, 33, and Pacquiao was like 31. But they waited. They kept doing this bullshit, this ongoing bullshit, until Mayweather was 38 and Pacquiao was 37. They were both already past it by the time they fought. And that fight ended up being a lame fight. It wasn't exciting. I saw that fight, I was bored. I was like, it's just lame. All this build-up, and it wasn't even an exciting fight. Because both of them were at the stage of their careers where they weren't trying to take risks. The best fights happen in boxing when two young guys are fighting, because two young guys are willing to take risks. Go look at any of the best fights in the history of boxing. I don't care what division it is, whether it's the heavyweight division, whether it's the cruiserweight division, whether it's the light heavyweight division, super middleweight, light middleweight, super welterweight, featherweight. It doesn't matter what division. If you look at the most exciting fights that happen in boxing, always happen between two young guys. Two young guys, because When you're young and you're determined and you're ambitious and you want to be great, you are willing to take risks. You are willing to let your opponent hit you with a two-piece in order to hit him with a left hook, you know? And that's why, just look at when Pacquiao fought Marquez the first time. That was a very exciting fight. That was a very exciting fight. Why? They were both young. They were both hungry. Look when Pacquiao fought Eric Morales the first time. Look at how exciting that fight was. Why? They were both young. They would take a risk. Look at when Keith Thurman fought, Sean Porter. That was a very exciting fight. They were both young. Look at when Izu Ogono fought Dominic Brazil. Look at how exciting that fight was. That was a very exciting fight. They were both young. Look at when Evander Holyfield fought Riddick Bowe. Look at how exciting that fight was. They were both young. They were trying to knock each other's heads off. I'm not saying that older fighters can't be in entertaining fights. No, because Vladimir Klitschko was in an entertaining fight with Anthony Joshua. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times older fighters are more defensive minded. You know, they're more, I'm gonna just play it safe because they're not willing to take risks. And the funnest fights happen when it's between two young fighters. You know what I'm saying? When it's between two guys that are very ambitious. You know, even Floyd Mayweather Jr., you know, he was in an exciting fight with look at Mayweather when he was young. You know, a lot of people say Mayweather was boring. He was boring this, he was boring that. But Mayweather was a very exciting fighter when he was young. Look at how risky Mayweather was when he fought Arturo Gatti. Like, he was letting his combinations go. That was a very exciting fight. Mayweather was dominating him and it was exciting because he was being offensive. Look at when Mayweather fought Diego Corrales. Look at Mayweather when he fought, Emmanuel Augustus. When he fought, look at how much willing he was to let his punches go. He was being very offensive. He was trying to knock out Diego Corrales. Why? Because he was young. He was ambitious. He wanted to entertain the crowd. As Mayweather got older, he started being more lame because it was all about not getting hit and being more defensive, and it was all with age. And he didn't want to lose and ruin that reputation of being undefeated, because being undefeated was a big deal to him. The point is, I don't want Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua to prolong this fight and wait 4 or 5 years, because it's not going to be as exciting if that fight happens right now in 2018, 2019, than waiting till 2023, 2021, because by then they're going to be older, they're going to be slower, there's going to be more mileage in their tank, and maybe there's even going to be some losses. Some of them, maybe Wilder or Joshua will have a couple of L's in their records by then, because we don't know the future, right? So that's why I think the best time to have them fight is right now, when they're young, when they're ambitious, when they're hungry, and when they're undefeated. Not wait till they're up there in age. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, man. Bye bye. I'm out.